When I first received Bella, she seemed very docile, but that was because she was so weak and felt so bad. And I wanted to show you some of Bella's behavior here since I moved her outside. She's actually jumping at me. She feels better. She feels good enough to defend herself and to try to come at me. Now, a lot of reptiles will do this. They'll wild up. Bearded dragons are known for really doing this too. Most of the bearded dragons that I've had, if you bring them outside for natural sun, and then they just, within minutes, they'll revert to acting like a wild reptile, and they'll try to run away from you. Or even sometimes when I go to pick them up and bring them back in the house, they'll puff their beard out at me and try to bite. Not my current beardies, but some of my others in the past. But iguanas will do this too. And that's if they have not been really socialized. She's acting real defensive and, you know, she wants to come at me, bro. And there she just kind of, look, she's whipping her tail. That's what Iggies do. Now, what this shows here is that Bella, her former owners, did not socialize her. This is not a socialized Iggy. In addition to this rehab for the physical injuries and the, you know, her extreme muscle wasting and everything else, all her nutritional issues and her low body weight and her second and third degree burns, she's also going to have to be tamed down. She's going to have to be socialized so she can be tamed. And this is more than just feeling bad and not wanting to be touched. This is how Iggies act when Iggies have not been, you know, rarely or never taken out of their terrariums to be socialized with as a pet. And this is what I always tell people that have iguanas. You cannot put them in an aquarium or whatever your cage is and leave them in there. Because when they grow up, they'll be biters. They'll whip you with their tail, and when they get big, especially the males, they can be dangerous. They can break your finger, and their little bitty sharp teeth, they can do a lot of damage. When they get bigger, it hurts like hell. They have really strong jaw muscles. All the Iggies that I've ever had, they or maybe go into a terrarium or a tank. If I have to leave the house at night to sleep, that sort of thing. But whenever I'm around, and if they're not really acting up or anything, I give Iggies, you know, free run of the house. They're allowed to walk around the house, and I interact with them. You know, I pick them up, I talk to them. You have to handle them. Iggies are a type of reptile pet. Not all of them are good for handling or whatever, but iguanas are one that you have to socialize with them, and you have to handle them and form a bond with them. You have to be consistent with that, because if you don't, they're going to be unsocialized and very defensive, and you know, they're going to bite you or thrash you with their tail or whatever. And that's where I get a lot of people that ask me to take in their Iggy. They want to dump their iguana, and in this case, you know, sometimes they're messed up, they're sick or whatever, but a lot of times they're just fully grown or partially grown iguanas that have social issues, and the people don't want them anymore because they say, well, I can't handle it. They're not a, you know, they're not fitting in with my household. They're not a handleable pet. Well, that's because you didn't start out when they were babies socializing them. You have to socialize iguanas. If you don't, this is what you're going to get. They're going to be biters. So Bella's also going to need to be, in addition to everything else, it'll probably, at her age, it's probably going to take a good year or so to, maybe sooner, but this is going to be a process too. I got to socialize her and tame her down where she trusts people and she's not a biter.